Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this monthly tarot forecast for the month of July 2022. I am Rachel Moon of Mystic Hand Tarot. And before we get started with our messages on love and relationships, life purpose, and the angel and feminist hero for the month, let's go ahead and set the tone. I remembered to bring my Tibetan singing bowl over here to this spot where I do my videos, so very grateful for that. I love sharing this with you all. Let's set the tone with a little ring from the gong. Clearing the energy, settling the energy. Let's do it one more time. One more time. That's nice. All right. Thank you. Go ahead and set that aside. So, the numerology for this month of July is the number 13. And the card in the major arcana that relates to that number is the Death card. And I have chosen the Death card from the Feminine Mystique Tarot. This is actually a dear friend of mine and a big fan of Mystic Hand Tarot, my friend Dawn, who is posing here as Death in this card. And this card, the meaning of death and the numerology for this month, we are going through some major changes this month, and I think that we all are experiencing some feelings of upheaval, some feelings of, realizing that the world isn't really the way we thought it was or isn't turning out the way we'd hoped. I certainly feel that way with some of the recent decisions of the Supreme Court and some concerns for the future, but we have to change. As the external world changes, we are called to change. And that call to change within us is what is going to set this new world into motion in a powerful way if we are honest with ourselves about what we truly want to create and what we truly want to grow into our lives. So allowing those external changes that may affect us deeply, whether it's through anger, disappointment, disillusionment, and we'll talk a little bit more about disillusionment as well when we talk about Neptune in retrograde, as we are coming into the month with that. But, dealing with those feelings and deciding what's going to grow from there. Because those feelings can also be destructive and create depression and a weight on us if we're not careful. So using those energies to create rather than destroy. And if we feel we need to destroy something, then we do it as an act of creation rather than simply an act of destruction. So death will guide us through this month, this energy of letting go, reimagining, recreating, being reborn into our lives as something new and something potent and powerful. And yes, so the astrology for this month is very powerful. We have, entering the month, we have Neptune going retrograde on the 28th, which I did speak a little bit about in the new moon video. And this Neptune retrograde is a lifting of the veil. We are getting to actually see underneath the illusion, and we are perhaps feeling disillusioned, perhaps feeling a disconnect from the beauty and the joy in some areas of our lives, and needing to really get clear and honest with ourselves about what we would like to see in the future. This Neptune retrograde will be with us through December 3rd, and it's really not going to be as intense as a Mercury retrograde unless you have Neptune in your chart. It's not necessarily going to affect us on an intense level, But I do think that some of what is going on in our political situation and in the world at large right now is due to Saturn being in retrograde. That happened, I believe, earlier in the month, closer to the full moon. And it also, having Neptune in retrograde. Those two things of Saturn being in retrograde affecting law and order and those ways that we try to control our universe, and especially it can reflect the patriarchy as well, Saturn, the planet itself. So when it's retrograde, we're sort of seeing chaos arise around all those things and seeing things perhaps not going in a way that we would like with regard to law and order and the patriarchy. So we're seeing the veil lifted with Neptune retrograde and getting an opportunity to look at both how we allow our world to be ordered and what we would really like to see, how we would like to be honest in this life. So that's entering July. On July 4th, we are having Mars enter Taurus, and this will amplify and help us to target our energy towards our goals, towards our ambitions. This transit can also bring stubbornness and tunnel vision. So you need to break the trance of that by getting out into nature and just spending some time sort of downloading in nature. So you're not so rigid and allowing things to kind of become this targeted, focused to the point of excluding others, alienating yourself, really getting out into nature, allowing nature to guide you in how to move forward and proceed. Also on July 4th, Mercury enters Cancer, and communication over the next 2 weeks of time after the 4th will become more sensitive. So be aware of how you are speaking and how you're taking in people's words so that you are being sensitive. So interestingly, that along with this Cancer, this Taurus transit could be a little tricky, I think. Mars in Taurus being sort of forceful, go-getter, go for it energy, and Mercury in Cancer being a little more needing that, reassurance and that validation and that softness. So balancing those energies on the 4th will be important. On the 13th, we have the full moon in Capricorn, and this full moon encourages us to let go of habits that no longer serve us, especially around our work and our career. And I would also say it's inviting us to break up that energy of seriousness around work, of rigidness. Capricorn can be very driven in their career, but also that can be to a fault. So have a little fun on the full moon in Capricorn as a means to break those habits that don't serve you anymore around your work and your career. July 17th, Venus enters Cancer, and this can bring emotional highs and lows over the 4 weeks following that date. So into August, you will be possibly feeling some reactivity in the emotional area with Venus being in Cancer. And this transit can help us to become aware of ways we might be relating codependently to others. Cancer is a very nurturing sign and also relates to mothering. And so when we see Venus in Cancer, there can be a draw towards especially if it's showing up in someone's chart. Venus in Cancer can be a draw towards mothering others that we're in relationship with. And sometimes that's codependence. Sometimes that shows up as codependency and can be a draw on our energy if we're doing that, as well as the energy of the other person, not really giving them their autonomy and their way of doing things, but trying to do everything our way as a motherly type of energy. So being aware of the desire to fix or help or show up in a way that is disempowering to others, even though we think we're trying to help, from July 17th into August, perhaps around the 17th. Then we have on July 19th, Chiron retrograde in Aries, and this will bring our focus inward on what's needing healing. On July 22nd, the Sun enters Leo, and Leo is a bright and playful sign, perhaps sometimes dramatic, so there will be some uplifting energy with the Sun in Leo through the next month after that. And on July 23rd, Ceres enters Leo, encouraging us to let our inner child play. And Leo is definitely a playful sign and perfect energy for the summer. So enjoy the time that the Sun is in Leo this month into August. July 28th, we have the new moon in Leo. And this is also a time that the inner child is highlighted and joy is encouraged. So let your inner child play, and you may also be planting the seeds for new love at this time, encouraging romance in your relationships, and just showing up for that inner child to find some healing, to find some place to relax and rest and play that is safe and nurturing. Also on July 28th, Jupiter is going retrograde in Aries, and that will be going on through November. This brings to focus where we are needing to grow in maturity and self-awareness. And that is all the astrological updates for July. It sounds like there's a lot of opportunity to get in touch with our inner child, playfulness, joy, and also balancing some things around career and especially seriousness and ways that we might be holding ourselves back from our goals by being too rigid. So the cards that we will be using today for the forecast on love, relationships, and life purpose, I chose the Native Spirit Tarot for the main messages, specifically with the intention to bring more of a indigenous, pre-Columbian energy to July's reading, since we are celebrating the formation of America on these lands. And I wanted to use this deck in honor of those people who were displaced as Europeans came here and colonized this land. We also will be using the Romance Angels Oracle deck, of course. And I chose the Collective Consciousness Oracle for the secondary message on life purpose. And then for our special messages, we have the Archangel's Oracle deck for the Archangel of the month. And for our Feminist Hero of the month, from the Our Tarot, we will be pulling a card as well. All right. Let's go ahead and see what cards want to come forward for love and relationships this month. Love and relationships in July. And I gave these a good shuffle before I started the video, so we'll just shuffle them twice and cut the deck. What card is coming out for love and relationships? We have the Five of Discs reversed. And this is a very dark card. These cards are very dark, which is why I don't use them very often, but they're interesting. So Five of Discs reversed. There's a feeling of renewal with this card in the reverse, although I don't feel it very strong. It's like questioning whether or not you're really healed from whatever happened before. You want to welcome that other person back into your heart. You want to be forgiving. You want to let go of the past hurt, but you're not really sure you're ready to do that. And it's showing up on that physical level. So there's trauma that needs healing when we see a Pentacles suit show up especially in the reverse for love and relationships, because this card is about the body. It's about the material plane. It's about physical energy and physicality. So the body is needing some healing around an issue in a relationship that you're feeling loss, you're feeling lack, you're feeling unseen, you're feeling that you've had someone turn their back on you, and that may not actually be what is happening in this relationship in the present, but this is stuff from the past that is coming up that needs to be healed, especially around that throat chakra. So you may feel like you can't breathe when you're feeling these energies. You may feel like you don't know how to speak, or like there's a tightening in the throat around these issues in this relationship. And that is what this 5 of discs in the reverse is showing you, that needs to be healed. So I'm going to pull one more card here for love and relationships, and then we'll take a look at the romance angels. The Chariot. So things are going to be moving forward, and you're going to have to manage those feelings that are coming up from the past, especially in the physical body, where healing needs to occur on the somatic level, on the body level, because things are happening and things are going forward. And as you're moving forward in this situation, you may be getting triggered, you may be feeling, and this could be romantic, this could be family, this could be friendships, whatever it is, you're needing to check in with yourself and in with your body as you're moving forward in relationships this month, to make sure that you're taking good care of your inner child, because there's a lot of energy this month for the inner child and a lot of energy around healing this month. So really pay attention on that deep level for those ways that you can work with the inner child, those ways that you can work with past woundings, so that you are able and ready to take those steps forward in these relationships this month. And what card wishes to come up from the romance angels? Pay attention to the red flags. So these could be red flags, again, coming up from that trauma. And that past trauma is informing you about what you need to look out for. What is really going on here? And, it's possible too, with this Neptune retrograde energy that we're moving through, that we may want to be in illusion, or we're really struggling with really seeing clearly what is truth and what is not. Because even though the veil is lifted, that doesn't mean that we honestly want to look at what's underneath that veil. I love, actually, that's sort of what's happening here. This person has a veil around them and it's being removed. And so you're needing to really see the other person in this situation as clearly as you can, without the rose-colored glasses, without the desire to make excuses for them, without the desire to change yourself to better fit a relationship. It may be necessary to let that person go. It may be necessary to take a step back. It may be necessary just to work on yourself for a little while before you get close to that person again. But you know what you need in this situation if you let yourself be quiet and still enough to hear what that is and to really see those red flags. All right, let's go ahead and cut the deck and see what wants to come forward about our life purpose this month. This card at the top of the deck is our card. We have the 2 of discs coming out. So needing to get balanced with our finances and balanced with our energy as well, because what I'm also feeling is like it may be that you're very inspired and excited about a project and you're spending a lot of energy on it, but then when you have your downtime, when you have your space to yourself to just enjoy your life, to enjoy your partner, to enjoy your family, the energy isn't there for it because you've been pushing very hard in some other area of your life, in this life purpose area. So needing to find and strike that balance. I also am seeing a need to get grounded, because here we have one foot on the ground, but not both feet. So when only one foot is on the ground, if we're speaking in terms of metaphor, we aren't really present. We aren't really accounted for. We're not really showing up in the fullness of who we are. And that could be true for you in your life purpose as well, because if you are spreading yourself too thin, you're not going to have the energy for any of the areas of your life that you want to have the energy for. So be really conscious of how you are expending and extending yourself too much this month. And let's go ahead and see one more card from the Native Spirit before we pull our Oracle card for life purpose. The Wheel of Fortune. And I love that this card is coming out because this came out for the new moon in Cancer as well. And the Wheel of Fortune is such a beautiful card in this deck. I absolutely love the Dream Catcher. And what I'm really sensing from this card is that your dreams are coming to you. Your dreams are coming true in your life purpose. Now, this could be relationship, this could be family, this could be your career, this could be a hobby or a creative project. And you're seeing those things that you've wanted to make manifest happen for you this month. But you have to be careful about how you're spending your energy so that you can show up fully to receive those things. Because if you are tapped out, burned out, wired and fired, you're not going to be able to receive. There's just not going to be enough energy there for it. So really be aware of how you're showing up so that you can receive these gifts as fully and openly as possible. Yeesh. All right, cards are trying to spill all over the place here, but we're not going to let them. Okay, so what card wants to come out of the Collective Consciousness Oracle for July? This one is always interesting when it comes out. Free yourself. So in many ways, if we're looking at this person, it is entirely possible that she has asked to be in this position. That this is some kind of a game. This is some kind of an experience that she asked to have. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, this experience is not serving something loving and good and grounded in a good somatic experience. So I really feel like these two cards connect in that we have ungrounded energy and we have energy that is tied up, stuck, not moving. So there is a tension here between putting too much out and being too rigid. And again, I'm feeling this come back to the astrology for this month, where we're needing to really be conscious of how we are showing up for others in our lives, how we're showing up for ourselves and for the commitments that we've made to ourselves and to our careers and our creative projects and our creative life. And needing to break free from those limitations that definitely could be caused by past trauma, by unconscious commitments we've made to ourselves that are not positive commitments, that are commitments that say, I'm not going to let people see me. It's not safe. It's not safe to show up fully. If I show up fully, somebody's going to laugh at me, or I'm not going to be safe. But what I find so interesting on both counts here, we have the energy moving forward anyway. So you're going to have to deal with those feelings and fears on the fly as you're moving forward, because dreams are coming true for you and things are moving forward. So it's time to break free and break loose of the energy that is holding you back. The fears, the anxieties, the subconscious commitments, the subconscious agreements that do not serve you. All right. So we're going to have to wrap this up because this app that I'm recording this video on in about 5 minutes is going to kick me off of here and I'll lose everything. So let's not do that. That's never good, never fun. All right. So what archangel wants to join us for this month? We have Jophiel. And Jophiel is the patron of artists, beauty, and conscience. So we are being given these gifts this month. We are being shown how to ground ourselves in our creativity, being asked to ground ourselves in our creative life. And Jophiel is there to assist us in creating what we want in our lives. And I will write more about this in the email. And then just before we end here, let's see what feminist and female hero wishes to come forward for us this month. We have Pearl Primus, Ace of Wands. So this Ace of Wands energy is great energy for summer. It is energetic. It is moving forward in a bombastic, adventurous, excited way. There's new things coming in. Again, I'm seeing that with the Chariot and with the Wheel of Fortune as well. And Pearl Primus was a avant-garde African-American dancer, very creative and innovative in dance for her time. And I will write more about her in the email and include some photos of her because she's amazing. I did see this card come up on Instagram in the recent past. But thank you all so much for watching this video, for showing up every month for these monthly forecasts. I am so grateful for your sponsorship through Patreon, and I will see you next month. Peace.